Hi Taurus, welcome to your quantum entanglement reading with me, Jocelyn, the Quantum Queen. So this is of course for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and as always, welcome to my cross watchers. Cross watcher, you could be dealing with a Taurus and the message could actually be for you, so feel free to take it however it resonates with your situation. Keep in mind that these are timeless readings, and if you guys would like to book a one-on-one reading with me, you can find my information down below in the description box. And as always, just wanted to say thank you for liking, subscribing, and thank you for all the good karma donations. I appreciate it so much. Okay. Man, that's... Okay, I'm going to see if that pops out, though. Because a few have been getting the... There it is. Okay, well, here's what was good. Because you had the Sun card, okay? And I am going to go ahead and take that. Bear with me. Taurus, okay, you have got, let me, bear with me for a second, because I've been just taking a bit to soak this in, okay, so Taurus, so almost every single read has had the Tower card, okay, there are a lot of, like, unexpected things happening, and a lot of, like, you know, news and things that's coming in because we are moving into 2020. And as the collective, that's a 4-year, plus we're moving into a brand new decade. Okay, so this really is a huge time. And with it is coming cycle changes. That's why I wasn't really surprised too that the Wheel of Fortune kind of popped out, because there's a cycle change happening for you. And this is what's going to come in. You guys will probably have some type of Tower moment. There's something that's... Do you know what I feel like, though? This doesn't feel abrupt. Honestly, this feels like it's something that's slowly been crumbling over time. A long time. Yeah, this can be even the past, like, 10 years, that, or maybe even 20 or 30 years. It's something that's slowly been crumbling in your life. And you've been watching, that's what I'm literally seeing from this Tower card. It's like piece by piece, as time goes along, you're seeing this construction of your life deteriorate. Slowly, very slowly. This isn't shocking. It is a dramatic change. It is a destruction, but it's not coming in like lightning. It's coming in more as this long process that you've been observing over time that has slowly deconstructed. Okay? And you've been watching it, and I think you've been pushing against it. You know, you've been trying to contain it, trying to maybe even grasp onto a few things. Literally what I'm kind of seeing is what you're trying to do. This is the visual that I'm getting in my head, okay? This is how this happens. It's like you're being... This sounds so dramatic. I don't mean it to sound this way, but it's like you're being pushed off of a cliff, but it's like to your dreams, and you're like scrambling, like you're pushing against it. You're like digging your heels in the ground. You're grabbing for anything that you can onto the side, but the universe has slowly been like pushing you in this direction, and you've been just resisting it. Because for some of you, it could have been where you might be being pushed to a new beginning that you don't know. You don't know what's on that other side. That's why she's blindfolded, because you have no idea what's going to come over there. So that's why a part of you, something that you've known is inevitable, that's going to fall apart, you've still been grasping onto it because you have no idea what's going to come on the other side. And I think this is why you're a little bit hesitant to jump in, because we've got the Hermit card. I think that you're worried about being isolated, feeling alone and lost, being completely alone, disconnected from everyone and everything. And in that mode, Taurus, is when you're going to actually feel everything, you know, feel all of your emotions. And that's actually what's needed. Because seriously, what's coming in for you, okay, is the Sun card. Positivity. There's a lot of really good stuff coming in. So it's like I guess what I want to say, Taurus, is like, stop resisting it, because it's going to be really good. And I think a part of you knows that. I think you know, whatever this is, this thing that's falling apart, it's like, let it go. Because I think there's some things that are still tying you to this thing, this person, this structure. You might feel this can be like maybe your own shame and guilt, or maybe your own pride. There's two things that I'm picking up on this, and I think it's because I'm picking up on kind of like two separate Tauruses. There's probably something that keeps you tied to a person or situation that could be more like you feel guilty or ashamed. Some of you might have even built up like a like there's a part of you that's worried about losing the image of this whole thing that you constructed, which is very ego. You know what I mean? Like, it can be career or a relationship or whatever it is, but there's almost this huge persona that you've built up as like, this is who I am. These are the things that I am. These are the things that describe me. This is what I do. And when that crumbles apart and you're down to nothing, it is a freaking frightening feeling, because who are you at that point when everything has fallen away and you are sitting there in the midst of having lost everyone or everything? You have to sit there and be confronted with everything that you might have been running from and avoiding. I don't know why that. I know that this is probably not a reading what people want to hear, but the reason why I'm saying it, Taurus, is because you have this on the other side, that Sun card. I would not be saying any of this if it wasn't absolutely true. This is where you get every single thing that you want in life. Your dreams, your wishes, positivity, success, productivity, achievement, abundance. It's feeling, maybe even for some of you, being in the spotlight, being recognized for something about yourself, some type of creativity. And there it is. Okay. There's the truth, Alethea. Because this is also kind of like the truth of yourself, you know, coming into the truth of your own shadow. Sometimes the scariest thing for us to look at is our own shadow, the truth of why we do the things that we do, why we set things up in our life in the very specific way that we do. Like, even the subtle ways that we manipulate that we don't always want to confront, that can be very scary when you start to really take a look at your own shadow and why and how you've done. Yeah, this is why. The riddle. There's something in your life, Taurus, that hasn't always made sense. It's something that you've always questioned, and it's always just been this kind of koan. I always talk about Buddhism and koans. That's my koan card. It's a freaking riddle that has never made sense to you. There's something in your life that hasn't totally come to a completion or been wrapped up or made sense to you. And it's because the answer is in this process. It's when you finally kind of like break away from structures or things or that type of deterioration of everything that you've known. It will bring you into this place of deep soul-searching, inner guidance, all that stuff, the contemplation. Because once you're finally alone, you'll finally be able to hear yourself and hear the communication through the universe and your guides, your ancestors, whatever you guys want to call it. But there is something that comes out in that mode. And it's the truth. And along with the truth is going to bring you into like a place of balance, which is also going to bring in all this positivity. So I feel like, I guess the reason why this is coming out for some of you, which I know that, yeah, like I said, this probably isn't something that anyone wants in a reading, but I'm saying it because at the beginning, Taurus, I think there's something that you're in resistance to, you know, like you're having a hard time making the leap into whatever this is, this unknown, because I think what you're feeling is that you're going to be totally alone, and you're not. Like, there's going to be this, you coming into full, like, how do I say this? You're going to finally come into this place of empowerment, because you're going to see you for who you really are. And then, so interesting. So we've got the Six of Pentacles. This is why I'm saying you're going to get some type of like an offer or a gift, like abundance that will flood into you from the universe through this process. It's totally worth it. Is it hard? Yeah. Sometimes it's really difficult, but the payoff is so worth it. You know, it makes everything feel like your process has been worth it. And any type of tower moments, like the pain that you've been through in your life, that's why. Okay, that's so funny, because that flipped over before. So there's the Empress card. That's you, okay? Coming into that place of empowerment within yourself. Nurturing you, taking care of you. The Empress, she likes being alone. Like, she's totally fine to be by herself. She chooses to be single because she knows her worth, and she will not accept anything less than what she wants and deserves. She's very balanced. She eats right. She's very intuitively connected to herself and her body. And look at that. This is when the alchemization happens. It's when all of a sudden, all of your fears and anxieties are going to fall away, because you're coming into this place of empowerment. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is why our society, like, I'm going to take this to this level. This is why our society is running and operating in the way that it is, because people haven't done the work on themselves, and they're completely controlled by their own fear and anxiety. Now, because of that, it can also, if you watch people, this is why I talk about diet so much on my channel, because once you start taking care of yourself and start educating yourself on what is in the food, you're going to start to see that even that can sometimes cause fear and anxiety. And now, because of that, that's where, for example, today, I went to, put my stuff in a storage unit. And I was talking to the nicest guy at the front desk, and I was just noticing how I was telling him what my plans were, you know, with moving and things like that, and how I travel, and he seemed very like envious, you know, that he was kind of saying things like that he wished that he could have done that. And he was probably in his 60s or so and working at the desk. And I could feel the type of shame that he had, you know, and that almost like he had wished he had done things differently in his life. And he had even started talking to me about his weight and how, you know, he was probably about 200 pounds over what he wanted to be at. And I was just noticing and observing how, you know, the changes I've made in my life, they haven't been easy, you know, myself, and this has been my own process. I try not to push this on other people, but having to go raw vegan, that was a really hard thing for me, you know, but I had to do it because that was the thing that nurtured me. That was the thing that I knew intuitively was for me. And it's something that I've had to stick to. And I've noticed that as you dedicate yourself to the things that you're intuitively picking up, it releases this fear and anxiety that holds you to the things in life that you don't want to be around. It's that karmic cycle. This is what I talk about with karma. It's fear and shame and guilt that's stored in your cells, and it keeps you in situations, and which is interesting because Hierophant, that's all about self-discipline. That's about daily routines and being disciplined with yourself and doing the things that we know always work, eating good food, yoga, meditation, all that stuff. And look at that, 8 of Cups. Walking away. This is the path. Taking care of yourself, being strict, dedicated, and you'll walk away from a huge cycle in your life that has brought a lot of disappointment. And maybe even for some of you, it's been where you feel like you always give in relationships and you never get back. That would all change with this. Straight up. So, Taurus, that was really long. I'm going to go ahead and dive into the extended with this if you guys are interested in joining me over there. It's such a specific message, but... So, Taurus, yeah, just go down below, click on the Vimeo link. I'll see you on the other side. But if this is where we leave things, I'm sending you guys so much love, wishing you all the very best, and I'll see you in your next reading. Take care.